Filling time.
Filling
Going live.
time.
The live show. We're not used to the live thing except in every other aspect of our professional lives.
I know. So you're going to see GOAT today, which is cool.
Going to see GOAT. Yes, the Steph Curry movie.
You're watching you're watching Brazilian films over the weekend.
I did. I watched The Secret Agent, nominated for Best Picture this year. Thrilling. Very good movie.
All right. I tell you what, it's not that I guess I'm just surprised at how interesting you are. Like, I know you like movies a lot, but you seem to really like movies.
Well, so I do really like movies. And I also do a weird thing every year where I feel like I need to watch all the Best Picture nominees for no reason whatsoever other than my own weird thing.
I mentioned that on my Pass the Phone on our station's TikTok.
Did you? That's funny. Yeah, so it's like, why not? And it was good. And I end up watching, half of them are movies I'm like, well, that was boring. And half of them like, I'm really happy I saw that and I wouldn't have otherwise. So
yeah.
Plus, how many people do you know who saw The Secret Agent and GOAT in the same weekend? Not many. I'm betting, not many.
That's my target demo. People that have watched both those movies.
All right, I think that's an appropriate amount of time being filled. All right, let's do it. I do have to get the aforementioned GOAT showing. So, another edition of the IOMS podcast, sponsored by Miller Lite, official partner of the Philadelphia Phillies. Taste like Miller Time Philadelphia. Celebrate responsibly, Jack. We have so much to get to. And obviously, I think Bryce Harper, far and away, the number one thing that we need to get into. And I know there's another thing and there's all kinds of stuff going on, but I just want to start the pod somewhere because for the last 3 or 4 days, I've really been concerned. You played baseball in college and I didn't. So I don't know that you can keep doing the podcast with me and feel okay doing the podcast with someone who didn't play. Like, how can you assume that I can carry my load, that I can help make this podcast what needs to be if I never played at that level? How could you possibly assume that? I mean, you've worked with other people who didn't play at high level, and I guess they could do it. Like, Jim Leland, maybe when you started in the freaking sport, Jim freaking Leland, one of the great managers in the history of baseball who never played in the major leagues. How you doing? Nick Castellanos. Goodbye. All right, goodbye. Enjoy San Diego. Sorry. Yeah, San Diego. I got almost, because we were just doing the NFL thing. I'm like, San Diego. I'm like, wait, they're the chart. Oh, no, wait. They're still San Diego. Good. Okay. How you doing, Padres?
They're not the Los Angeles Padres. No, they're not. They're not. That's good. Yeah, well, what's so funny about that whole thing is he shouted out Paco Figueroa, who famously didn't play in the big leagues. So, yeah, and boy, he seems obsessed with this whole thing now. He's talking about Craig.
It's the weirdest bit going. It's so strange, again, for a guy who played for Jim Leland. Like, he's like, him and La Russa are like the quintessential examples of arguably 2 of the 5 or 4 greatest managers of our lifetime. And I think La Russa is the greatest. And 2 guys who never played in freaking majors. Like, it's just such a weird take from Casty.
Well, and also Terry Francona.
Joe Madden, he played for Madden.
Francona.
The Cubs. Madden didn't play. Francona.
Well, Francona did play.
I was just trying to think of guys who Casty actually played for and had success. Was he saying this about Joe Madden in Chicago? No. Was he saying this about Jim Leland in Detroit? No. Like, it's just so crazy.
And I'm not even the biggest Kevin Long guy, but to say that he had disdain for Kevin Long, who has won 2 world titles as a hitting coach, working with the likes of, Cano, A-Rod, Jeter, Teixeira, the 09 Yankees, and then doubling down with the 2019 Nationals, who had Juan Soto, Trey Turner, like all
Anthony
those guys.
Anthony Rendon when he was
But Castellanos is really he knows. He knows. If you don't play the big league level, it's hard to take you seriously. And the truth of the matter is he never gave Rob Thompson a chance. I mean, that to me is evident. And he always kind of looked at him with a side eye. And on some of the Casty stuff, I'm like, all right, I get it. Like, I don't have this disdain for Casty. I will give him a nice golf clap when he returns. He will not get booed, things like that, from my perspective. The one where he really lost me was with the Thompson stuff. The Thompson stuff where he played him 253 straight games, never took him out of the lineup, removed him 1 time for defense with a 2-run lead heading into the 9th. if that's not a guy who had to.
And then real quick, and then after the way he reacted to that with the beer and the PS or whatever, Rob didn't do it again. He never took him out of a freaking another game for
for a long time.
What more for the rest until the playoffs or whatever? Like, what more do you need? Or maybe until the last week of the season, whatever. It went like 30 more games without taking him out. Like, it's crazy, man.
And Thompson, I feel bad for Thompson with all this because he clearly had to walk on eggshells, and he probably knew that this guy never really messed with him, and he had to navigate it, and he navigated as best he could. But at some point, he had to do what was best for the baseball team. That was the annoying part. It's like the right thing for the baseball team was to remove Castellanos from the game, and for Casty not to have the wherewithal to look yourself in the mirror and say, I understand I'm not the best defensive player. This is the best thing for the team. I'll take that. I think there was a couple of things dueling here. One, you had a fading.
Well, not just did he not take that, he went the exact had the worst reaction to that situation. You know what I mean? Like he acted like a little child. Like he did the worst possible thing. He went completely the other way. Like not only did he not look in the mirror, he just went like, screw you, I'm going to throw a tantrum.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that we see here is a guy who was a quote-unquote star, and that was faded. And I think that he was starting to realize his own baseball mortality, and he was starting to take it out in ways that weren't. He talked about things that are conducive to winning, right? He's obsessed with that now.
Addicted to winning.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
And
your actions really speak that for sure.
Some of the things Rob Thompson was doing was not conducive to winning. Well, I'll tell you what, pal. Playing you every day is not also conducive to winning. So, he's just.
You could argue that was the worst decision Rob Thompson made last year, was sticking Cassie in the lineup every day.
Oh, and then did you see the quote yesterday about how this is a veteran ball club that doesn't cut corners and stuff like that, and they don't accept mediocrity? What are you talking? Like, you turned yourself into one of the least valuable players in baseball. Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? Like, it's okay to have a guy with edge, whatever, but it's just to prop yourself up into thinking that we're actually a $20 million a year type player, and sort of take shots at your old teammates on the way out who were, I think, rightfully taken aback by how you treated a guy who seemingly everyone else has no problem with.
Totally. And like Kevin Long too, have we heard a bad word, whether or not like they're good at their jobs is a different thing, but from the players who've all played for them, like we hear the opposite. We hear this guy might sign here because he wants to be with Kevin Long again and stuff like that. Like you never hear the opposite.
Well, and he's talking about how basically working hard and things like that. Well, the Phillies have been trying to adjust Castellanos for years, and he refused to do it. So I don't know. I'm over it. I some of the stuff on the way out's annoying. Looks like a cat at first base. Oh, that's gonna work out. That's gonna work out well. And I don't know. I mean, mostly good riddance, but I'll give you a nice ovation when you come back for some of the playoff heroics.
Yeah, it's gonna need to be a little while before I'm gonna give the ovation. I get where your head's at, and like I do think that there will be a time where I'll look back at playoff the Diamondbacks homers or the Braves series homers. I mean. And I'll look back at the Scooby-Doo and the
catches. Come on, man.
Even, which is, obviously if they just have a major league average right fielder there, they don't look as great because he just catches the ball. But like whatever, he made the plays and whatever. And he was a part. He was a part of the Phillies being back. Like the part of the return of the Phillies and the return of Red October, and that matters. Like that does matter to me.
Well, and I'll always get a smile when he called Citizens Bank Park the jungle.
All time. And honestly, to that point, there are real moments like him waving the towel on the top step with the Turner ovation. Like there are like things where I will look back and honestly, him like being the first one to grab Kirkland coming off the field. Like there are moments, and it does seem like forgetting this thing. Like it does seem like all in all. I mean, I think he's needs to grow up and he needs to take accountability of things, but it does seem like Nick Castellanos is a nice guy who looks out for people and tries to do good. I can't stand him right now as a Philly and as a former Philly. And I agree with you, down the road, I'll get to what we're talking about, but just to go out like this, to first and foremost, to sign a 5-year, $100 million contract and so underperform that contract that by the time you leave, You were statistically the worst regular player in the sport, in the entire sport. And fine, if you don't believe in more, one of the 5 or 10 worst, whatever you want to say, everyday players in baseball, and to have zero accountability to that. Like, never, he's working on, he knows. Like, it's just expectation that I should be in the lineup every single day and I should not get taken out for it. Like, it's this insane level of lack of accountability from this guy who is already getting paid 20. You're already getting the 20 million. Like, everything after that, that's on you, dude. Like, you could take the 20 million and be happy that you got 20 million, like, baseline. Perform for it, and you don't just get a spot. You don't just get to play the outfield because you want to. Like, no, by the way, like, this is a guy who told us after the 2022 season that he doesn't even really pay attention in the outfield during the season. It's hard for him to stay locked in. Like, like, for this guy, to your point, especially with the Padres, like, this Phillies team, for whatever we want, has won a World Series. They've had more success than the Padres the last 4 years that Kiddick's been here. We've actually gotten to a World Series and beat them on the way. Like, it's just that this guy is living in a different world. And I know he is, by the way, talks and Scooby-Doo and all that stuff, but I'm talking in terms of, like, his understanding of who he is, what he's giving to the world, and what he should expect from that. Because he was a horrendous baseball player. Horrendous. And not once did I feel like that guy acknowledged that freaking fact, man. Not once did I feel like that guy said, yeah, I haven't come close to being worth $20 million. Like, and then to just, like, talk smack on the way out and rip a manager who always had your back. And the one time he actually had the balls to freaking take you out of a game, like, you should have every time we had a lead, every game they had a lead, he should have been pulled. Like, it's just goodbye, dude. Goodbye. Have fun in San Diego. Enjoy the weather. Enjoy not winning. Goodbye.
Your face is turning purple.
I need to rein it in.
Put that should win podcast rant of the year. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I kind of forgot what I was gonna bring up with him, but he really did. He really struggled with understanding how horrendous he turned into be. And that's the thing. It's like, I get it. So, we talk about the postseason, right? By the way, career 650 something, the OPS in the postseason.
2 for 15 this last postseason. People talk like he was the stud of the postseason. He's 2 for 15.
They get
the worst base running play of the playoffs. But
yeah. Well, and what I would like to point out is the Diamondback series. He finished at 0 for 23 and struck out in Game 7 with a runner on third base, less than 2 outs. But all the big hits. Yeah, you could argue that the Nick Castellanos contract cost him the World Series. Both.
Yeah. Oh, you absolutely could.
$20 million a year to a sunk player.
And $20 million not to other players or player that could have helped you.
Well, and how many years in a row has it been? Man, they need a right-handed bat with some thump.
Yeah, well, it's a cleanup hitter of this, that. Like, oh my God. Yeah.
Imagine if they got some semblance of 21 Castellanos for the last 4 years. Like a lineup with Harper, Turner, Schwarber, JT, and real Castellanos. Like, on paper, that's an unbelievable lineup. It just really didn't work out. I tell you what,
he was the perfect fit. To your point, Jack, like, when they signed him, like, he was I don't rip them for the signing. I liked it when they did it. Like, it was a disaster. It didn't work out. But when that team that they were building, like, if Nick Castellanos came in and was your point 19, even like 18 Cassie, whatever, like, it's a completely different, like, he's the perfect piece to fit with. Like, it really is a shame. Like, it is. You're so right, dude. I hadn't framed it that way, but I think you could absolutely say they didn't win a World Series because the Cast contract.
Well, and then he gets to 22 and he was horrendous. I mean, that whole postseason, besides the catches.
And the year too, remember, he started out, it was good till like May, and then he was like this year hitter. He was like the worst hitter in baseball for the rest of the year.
And to Rob Thompson's credit, he kept him in the 4-hole the entire season, even in the World Series.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. Which we were freaking out about at the time.
We said we got to get Bohm in there, and he hasn't.
Who knew?
And he hasn't left. So, yeah. I definitely won't miss him. Won't miss him. Definitely won't miss him.
All right, so let's go from one frustrated former superstar, I guess we can say, to a current superstar who is, let's say, frustrated.
I can say that.
Okay. So Bryce spoke. I obviously want to get to the content of what he said because I am actually I'm shocked at how visceral Bryce's emotions are about this. Like I understand, and we knew when he did the not elite thing that he was like, he definitely felt it. And we knew even from the reaction initially where it's like, I haven't heard from them. Like you knew that he was a little perturbed. Bryce is angry about this. And Bryce is like hurt, it seems like, and feels kind of like violated or something, almost like trust was broken or something here.
That's how I would put it. There's a circle of trust here, and
that was the main thing that hit me.
That's what, watching the whole thing and rewatching it a couple times.
Yeah, dude, a couple times.
He seems like, and I don't know an athlete that is a superstar level, even if he's not a superstar elite, whatever. Someone who's been at the top of the mountain.
Bryce is. I mean, Bryce has been the face of the sport.
I know, but like every single athlete hearing their boss essentially question whether they can get back to an elite level, I think would react the same. If I was Bryce, I'd be sitting home and be like, "What?" He's like, so. I think the reaction from some people is Bryce is being a baby. But he, like, that's how every athlete would react.
Totally.
And this is not, I'm not turning this into a Jalen thing. But if Nick Sirianni said, I mean, he's probably the 15th best quarterback in football.
Oh my God, are you kidding me? Now Jalen might not say, Jalen might just be like talking, code and not actually say how he's feeling. But you could guarantee that Jalen would be furious and would be using it as motivation immediately.
And he would go to Lurie and he'd say, "What the hell is that?
What the hell's going on here? We control your guy." Absolutely.
Yeah. So I understand why Bryce is. The people that say he's being a baby needs to get needs to admit that. What are you, crazy? You want him to say, "I'm not as good as I used to be"?
And he has. He said, at least he said, my season last year wasn't good enough. I wasn't elite. I was like, he said that. He said, I need to get back to where I was before. He said that. What more do you need from him? Like, are you kidding me?
I tell you what, he did miss 6 weeks and still popped 27. I feel a 35 home run season from old Brycey. And yeah, the shirt, obviously they sent him the shirt. He put it on.
He loved Bryce just being like, yeah, they gave me the shirt, so I wore it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, Bryce, cool, sure.
But you're obviously using it as motivation, which is cool. My thing is, if it stays here, I think they're fine. I just don't have a good feeling about it. It feels like for the first time when I was watching it, Jack, I thought, and it's all dependent on it playing on it, but I thought, like, we talked about 2012, right? Like if it's like 2012 but worse, like let's say they start off, 10 games under or whatever, and it's just a bad start and a couple guys get hurt or whatever, and it falls apart. Like, this is the first time I thought, like, I guess they could trade Bryce at a deadline. Like, I don't think it would play that way. It was the first time watching that thing was the first time I ever thought, will Bryce finish his career? Like, that was the first time I ever thought that. And I think we're far from that, the question. I'm just saying, that was the first time it ever popped in my mind watching that of like, oh, like this feels like a fracture. Well, and I don't think it was some chess game. I don't think, at least, it's some chess game by Dombrowski trying to get the best out of Harper. I think he was like half an hour into the press conference and was tired. And was just like, so real quick, just on that note, because honestly, I think like outside of just the way Harper feels, my biggest takeaway from this whole thing is like, what the bleep, Dave? Like, this is an all-time bad press conference from this guy. Like, think about like this Bryce thing has spiraled in a way, like, even if he was trying to motivate the guy, like, he clearly went about it the wrong way. Even if Bryce is motivated and plays well, like, he went too far. Can't tell people how to feel. Oh, it's a Bryce feels, right? But Matt Strom comes out and basically like, we don't want the guy. And then they're forced to trade him. And I know you like the guy they got, like, with some upside, but they definitely traded low on Matt Strom because they came out in their press conference and said, we don't want him. And then he came out in the press conference and didn't even try and pretend that they would want Nick Castellanos back. Didn't he? Throughout the whole offseason, like, there's a reason Nick Castellanos, they waited till the last minute and just had to release him instead of maybe getting $2 million, $5 million, $4 million, whatever. He signed right away. The Padres signed Nick in a day. Like, I know it's for no money, but like, Dave had three major things that he like had kind of control over shaping the narrative of here with Castellanos, Strom, and Harper, and he destroyed all three. Like, it was a disastrous press conference from him. Well, and it could have been so easily. All he had to say is, hey, Bryce, by Bryce Harper standards,
That wasn't elite.
didn't have the season that he is didn't have the season he usually has, and Bryce knows that, and we fully expect Bryce to be back to being Bryce. Bryce Harper's one of the
We
best.
know that Bryce will do everything in his power to get every ounce out of his body. We know that Bryce is whatever. It's so easy.
Bryce is one of the best players in baseball, and we have full confidence he's going to get back to that. Yeah, so let's just go through the rundown of Dave's offseason, okay? So this is actually taking back to last offseason, but I think he misread Schwarber's market and ended up costing him 5 years, 150, when it probably could have been 100. I mean, he cost him years and money by making Schwarber go in that year. He pissed off Harper. He, I think, misread the Bader market and ended up with Adolis Garcia, who I think that could still work out for the Phillies.
Yeah, it's not one-on-one. I agree with you. I like the upside of it and the signing and the 1 year deal, but like I agree with you. I think they signed Garcia because they didn't think they could get Bader for the price he went for, and they pivoted too quickly, and they didn't do what they wanted to do there.
They got played in the Bichette thing, where well, sure they were in, and I think he would have signed here, but and obviously the Mets gave him.
They got used, if nothing else.
And they didn't push back enough on people saying they're the favorites to sign him. They pivot right to JT, and JT, while I think he is a professional, I think he'll get over what happened. Clearly knows that he was 1 foot out the door, that they were ready to push him away.
In the press conference, he said, "I didn't think I was." He literally said, "I didn't think I was going to be back." I was surprised. He was like, "There was a moment where, like, you rarely hear that in that situation, you know."
They tell the world about Castellanos, and even Preller said yesterday, like, we were trying to get. We were talking about a deal with them, but we couldn't work it out, and ultimately
we knew we didn't have to. We knew we didn't have to.
And then the Bohm thing. I mean, he couldn't trade Bohm again because they keep thinking that he is something that he is not. So yeah, it's been for a Hall of Fame level executive. It has been and Spike said this on Friday, and I agree with him. It's just been a sloppy offseason.
Sloppy.
It's been a
messy,
sloppy Dave Dombrowski offseason. So and it's culminating in the Bryce thing where you said Bryce might not be here. They might have to choose between him or Dave. I mean, that might be where it comes down to. And I thought it was interesting in the cut about the elite thing. He referred to the Phillies as when I met with this organization, which I thought was weird. And I think he only said Phillies like once during the entire press conference. So, yeah, not great. And if he uses his motivation and he gets the best out of it, awesome. But it was just a total miscalculation from Dombrowski.
Yeah, and what you worry about with Dombrowski, and I think that overall Dave's done a good job here on the whole. We talk a lot about what he's done behind the scenes, building up the front office, bringing in guys like Preston, Barber, and all these people who really know what they're doing behind the scenes to build up the organization, the development type stuff they've done in Clearwater, Latin America, all these things. Like, I think that they are a much healthier organization today than when Dave Dombrowski took over. So I think like that alone is a really good thing. I think we can argue about his on the field stuff. I think he's obviously had some big misses, some hits, but for the most part, it's been uneven. But I think that this offseason, if nothing else, whether or not I liked the moves he was making, whether or not I knew that he was probably going to sign some guy for, 8 to 10 million that was going to be a mistake or whatever, like these things that we knew, I felt like he had a full control of the ball club and was an adult running the franchise, and he's still an adult, obviously, but this is the first time I've kind of felt with this offseason, the way it's played out and the way he's done it in these press conferences where it was clear to everyone listening in the moment. Like we all went, whether or not we thought it was going to be a disaster, we all went when the Bryce thing happened, we're like, whoa, really? When the Strom thing, it was like, oh, okay.
I like the Strom one.
I liked it, but still, it was also like, whoa, there were these moments where you're like, whoa, Castellanos was like,
Jonathan Boland's going to be better. Jonathan Boland's going to be better than Strom this year.
And that would be the funniest part of it. And that's why I'm not, crushing, because I know you like some about this guy, but just more the point that like, and then the moves, the misreading of the market on Bader, the misreading of the Bohm situation, and the mishandling of it from a media perspective, like their whole Bohm presentation strategy, disastrous. Like this is the first time I step back and I'm like, is the game passing Dombrowski by a little bit, both from the way you played the game in the media perspective, and also obviously the how moves are made, the type of moves that are given out, and the way teams are used to make these moves, because it does feel like Dave's been played a few times.
Well, listen, it might maybe after the year it's a, hey, let's move you to a senior advisor role and let's get Preston in there. And I was thinking about this yesterday because I've worried, and
because it's all you think about every second of every day. Yeah, we know.
It legitimately.
I know. It was like very little tongue in cheek there.
But I've been thinking a lot about it, because I think I mentioned that 3 pods ago that I worry about the game passing him by.
Yeah, you did.
And my biggest thing is he came up in a sport where he had to outmaneuver Jim Bowden, Ned Colletti.
Dude, he started working for Bill Veeck. Like, Bill Veeck is like one of the all-time old school, like, running, like, Bill Veeck's responsible for the Demolition Derby promotion. Like, that's the kind of baseball Bill Veeck comes from, like a different era of the sport. You know what I mean? Like, he's been around for a long time. And
I just think these guys are too smart now. It's why he hasn't. The Luzardo trade was really under the radar. The Sosa trade was
Disco Night. That was the other Bill Veeck one. Sorry.
Right. Yeah. The Sosa trade was really, but who knows if that's Dave and not someone else in the front office that focused on the little moves like that. It's just even the Duran trade was really good. But that was a cut and dry old school baseball.
Luzardo trade, great trade. That was a cut and dry, couple prospects for a dude with 2 years left. Like, it was a very simple, like a good trade, but a simple trade.
Yeah, I the lack of creativity, thinking it's okay to run it back for the 3rd, 4th straight year with these guys.
And thinking it's okay to sell it the way they're selling it in the media. Like, there's no, like, again, to allow your manager to come out and be like, hey, anyone who thinks we're running it back, I got bad news for you. Like, there's a pomposity to the way that they are, like, defending it that I think is just very tone deaf. They've had a really tone deaf offseason with regards to both their own players and the fan base.
And who knows how much hunger there still is from Dave. Like, everything he's done is easy. I mean, this offseason has been an easy offseason. It's easy to re-sign JT and Schwarber.
The whole thing, it's easy to come in when you start spending money. Like Middleton starts spending, come in, all right, spend us over the top. Like, that's easy, or comparatively easy.
I know. So we'll see. But I think there could be a move, especially if this Harper thing continues. At the end, it was funny. Devin got in there at the end of the video and was like, so you and Dave have talked, right? And like, this whole thing put to bed. And for those watching, this is what Bryce said. He goes, yeah. And I'm like, oh, geez. Don't like that?
Put to bed is definitely,
yeah, I don't think so. So maybe there's a move to
put to bed, like Zoe's put to bed when she ends up staying up for another hour and a half after supposed put to bed time. Yes.
The walk special. Special.
Buddy, loves it.
So maybe there's a move to senior advisor.
I'm just talking to myself. You said I can't talk to you, but I can talk to myself, right? It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes. Nice. So all right. So that's the Dave thing. There are some other interesting things that I thought he said.
In the Bryce thing, yeah. So let's get to some of it. I'll just bounce around and get your thoughts on. Let's start with the Dodgers thing, because I think that was, probably the next biggest of note one. There were a few comments, the Schwarber stuff we'll get into, but I thought the Dodgers thing was, interesting. And when you heard Bryce talking he said, basically, I love what the Dodgers are doing. You can't fault them for having a smart drafting and developing plan and then going out and spending a bunch of money. But he also, I kind of read it as a keep spending, John. He's like, I know that we're not the Dodgers, but like, we have to compete with that. And that's kind of what it is, was kind of the way I read that.
So the way I read it was the players union told the players, this is how you have to answer this question.
Oh yeah. Well, of course. Yes. They can't crush them. No doubt. Yes. For sure.
So
I was talking about the message after to John being like, we got to keep up, but yes, I agree with you. Yes. No doubt.
So in listening to it, I think if you just read the comments, you would say, wow, he's ripping player development here. Like,
I didn't think that at all when I saw it. I didn't think that at all.
Yeah. So I felt that a little bit with the like, we got to keep spending kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, the Klein thing. Yeah. And
he's 100% right when talking about when talking about developing these guys, and that is the sign of a healthy organization. And he's right with the Dodgers. I mean, the Dodgers
That's what we've always talked about. That's why they have Andrew Friedman. They can go spend, but they have Andrew Friedman still doing the Rays stuff he always did.
Yeah, they are a lethal combination of elite at player development and drafting, and also can spend more money than anyone else in the sport. It's
the worst combination. Yeah.
If we
best, I guess, if you're a Dodgers fan, it's the best. Yeah.
I really wish Jeff Hoffman just did not hang that slider. I mean, would we be having these conversations if Hoffman didn't hang a slider?
No, it'd be such a different. It's so funny too, because you're so right. It's one pitch essentially that would change the conversations, but like they would still have signed Tucker and Diaz. Who knows? Maybe they signed someone else because they lost, and yeah.
Miguel Rojas is the World Series hero, by the way. Miguel Rojas.
Only us here in this city, and really the people listening to this pod truly appreciate and expected that to happen. That's it.
It was kind of like when Michael Martinez ended the.
It was. You're right. It really was, and everyone came through like we expected them to in those spots too. It's just be a Phillies fan through the bad times, and you'll know enough about baseball to watch any game. I think that's the takeaway.
Yeah. So. And the reality is, and I think they're getting better at it, but they're still. I mean, they are still eons behind where the Dodgers are from a PD standpoint. I think pitching wise, they're really.
I agree with you.
But hitting wise, I mean, there's not turning out. Well, Aiden and Crawford.
But Crawford was what, the 14th pick in the draft, right, or 13th or something like that. Whatever, somewhere in there. And Aiden was 27, but would have been higher if he didn't have that injury. Like, they're great and they're big hits, and I'm excited about them. But like, they're not like hitting on a bunch of like mid to late round hitting prospects and bringing those. Like, that's where they have to start to like, not anyone can hit on a first, because we know in baseball that doesn't happen. But like, it is much easier to hit on your first round pick than on your 5th, on your 7th, on your 9th. You got to start like churning these guys out who become, parts like board players and more. And that's how you build out an organization, by hitting on more and more picks.
Well, especially as these guys get older. So it's not just, that's the way that you avoid the
exactly that you have all these high price guys at this point, but then you have young guys who don't make money to supplement it and who are they're getting better and hitting their prime. So the other guys are declining stuff. They're a little off on the mix. You wish there was a little closer gap than like a decade to 12 years between these kids and the high end of these players. You wish it was more like 7 years, but that is the formula theory.
It's going to be a nerve-wracking 5 years. I'm just going to let you know. It's a very nerve-wracking 5 years.
I know. Well, this year just got more nerve-wracking. Like, we were already like, we'll see what happens with the baseball and all that stuff. And as it goes, it'll be fun and whatever. And the stupid Dodgers. But like, just from the, like, I didn't need the extra, is my favorite player gonna like ask out because he hates the general manager of it all. And, just the like acrimony that is like, and again, like, I really do. And we can quibble with how Bryce, I'm sure there are people who are like, Bryce, stop being a baby. Or I'm sure there are people like Dave, it's all you or whatever. And there's all kinds of, gray that we don't know about and all this. But like, all I can do is, and I think you felt the same way watching that video, I was surprised by how, and we've seen Bryce talk a lot in the last 7 years. Like, he talks a lot. We've seen him in the videos. I know, kind of like, we feel like you kind of know him to a degree. It felt like he really was hurt. Like, it felt like he really took this personally, and not in a, like, and I take it personally, like, like, I took this personally, like this, I feel trust broken. I feel a little offended. I'm disappointed. Like, I hated seeing Bryce that way. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah. Well, and I think and we should get to I want to get to the Schwarber stuff, because I think
next great point.
I think the Schwarber stuff was almost more concerning to me.
That he thought he was going to sign in Cincy?
No, the fact that it was, I didn't really talk to him. I stayed out of it. Yeah. Since when?
Yeah, since when? The JT thing. I know. Like, we were freaking signing checks as you cross home plate and stuff. I know.
Now, maybe they told him, you got to tone it down with that stuff. You're killing us with leverage and things like that. But what I would have liked to have heard from the Schwarber thing was,
there's no more leverage anymore, especially you could say anything now. You could say, yeah, I was all into it. We got, I mean, the leverage is when you're saying stuff before they sign the player. Like, it's over now.
But with the Schwarber thing, what I would have liked to hear him say is, dude, I was texting Schwarber all offseason saying, we got unfinished business here that we got to take care of. Like, you got to do the best thing for your family, and I totally appreciate that. But, man, we need you back. We need you back. And it kind of, the whole answer there felt like a big shrug emoji of, either they're going to be here or they're not. And I don't think Bryce, one thing that I am not concerned about. But like the player Bryce, I don't think is checked out. I was actually glad yesterday he brought up the. I know people think that I'm not happy playing baseball. Like I'm not
Yeah,
smiling.
he's basically like, I have a resting bee face. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah. And I mean, I think he's upped his serious level recently.
And
Which
I like that he knows that he's aware that that's a kind of a narrative out there,
So, but I wonder if I hope he's not checked out from health of the organization stuff. And I hope he's not checked out from being the guy that can still recruit players to Philly and feeling like a Philly and wanting to be a Philly and wanting people to come here and play and stay and the whole Schwarber answer was, well, it was kind of like, I thought he was going to go to Cincinnati and we were busting his chops, ha ha ha. And then be like, yeah, I didn't really reach out, want to let him take it. Another player saying that, I understand, but that hasn't been Bryce. I mean, Bryce has been, I want people to come here
I want
and play
this guy.
with
Come
me.
sign this guy. Go get that. Oh, he's a great player. Yeah, totally.
And then,
I mean, from the moment he got here, did the Mike Trout thing at his freaking press conference. Do we all forget that? Like, it didn't work out and stuff. But like, the moment he got here, he's like, I'm trying to get Mike Trout here, guys. You know what I mean? Like, it was one of the first things he did.
I know. So that was also. I wonder if the Dave thing turned him off from that as well.
It's certainly possible, and it's certainly possible that that there's more backstory to all that than we know. That they've there's been friction before, and who knows? Especially because like going back to the comment itself, and we all like I don't think Dave was just trying to motivate Bryce Harper with that comment. Like I don't think he was just like, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to say something to get Bryce fired up. Like I think he was just being honest. To your point, he's tired, whatever it was. I think he just said something in a way that he shouldn't have said it. But just overall, like I just, it's a strange situation to be coming into, with this guy here because
I have no idea what the season's going to be.
And
the Harper thing, right. The Harper thing on top of it is it can either go one of two ways. It can get messier, or he could just put it to bed and go off. They need the youthful injection, I think.
Big time. They need it. Well, this is the whole point with that. We didn't just say change it up, don't run it back for the like this team isn't good enough of it all because like they're close, they got talent and stuff. It's like we've seen sports our whole lives. You have to change things up if things kind of get stale, or if things are the same, or if things are getting the same every year, like the same finish. Like you just have to do things to change up chemistry, to change up a clubhouse, especially in baseball. It's such a long season. Like it really can grind on you if it's like you need energy. We've heard like Kelsey always talks about this when he's on with us. He was talking about CJGJ a lot when it was going on, whatever, but he's like, teams need those type of guys. Teams need like someone who can come in and just like get everyone out of their heads, or like make people fired up, or this, that. Like you need like a wild card type thing. And this team feels like it's been very the same for a while. Like and maybe Garcia comes in and whatever, but it does feel like there's the potential for it to get very stale in there.
Yeah, well, it's why Bader was such a revelation. I mean, Bader was he's excited to be there, positive energy. I mean, that's why Bader turned into a legend so quickly. So, yeah, that was also interesting. Also, seems like you really want some protection in the lineup.
Oh, dude, yes, that was the last thing I was going to mention. It'd be nice to have Aaron Judge hit by me in the WBC. Yeah, and look, you know what? Like, I don't blame him. I agree with you, Bryce. The Phillies have done a bad job of protecting you since you've been here.
So I feel
it's Nick Castellanos' fault as much as anyone, but I mean, I get it. It's true. Now, you could also say hit second, hit first, be willing to do. It goes both ways. But
there's two things can be true on this one.
Yeah.
While it's true the Phillies have done a poor job getting protection for Bryce Harper, he's also too obsessed with hitting third. And if he hit second with Schwarber behind him, I think you would have good protection. Or if he hit leadoff, then you'd have Schwarber and Turner behind him. So
like Harper, Turner, Schwarber is, I think, like pretty clearly the best lineup. The smartest lineup they could roll out, I think.
So I would argue Harper, Schwarber, Turner, but whatever.
Fine. The point is Harper in a leadoff hole at this point in his career where he's at, like, does make a ton of sense.
Also, I did find it. Well, he also mentioned specifically that they haven't got good production from the 4-hole. They're like 20th in baseball. Seems like he knew that number off the top of his head.
Oh yeah. Doing some research.
I'm sure he's also well aware that he only saw 43% of pitches. He's in the strike zone last year, which is the least amount of baseball. So I'm sure he's well aware of those two stats. What I found funny about the Judge comment is, did he say I'm not playing unless I'm batting second or third and Judge is behind me? I mean,
in the WC, are you talking about?
Yeah.
I think he probably knows that he's batting somewhere in there, and but look, you're not
There's
wrong.
some pretty dang good hitters on that team.
It is pretty fun, yeah, but it's like that he's the respect of it all and all that. But it is pretty funny because if nothing else, he definitely was publicly told the manager where he wants to hit. If nothing else.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
He also mentioned the first player he can't wait to play with is Bregman, which killed my soul.
That was tough, man.
Really killed my soul.
You could have.
Yeah, and DeRosa said that Bregman and Schwarber are the most active guys in the group chats, and they're already planning events in Houston. And it's just like, we could have had them. We could have had Bregman with Schwarber.
It's all right. Bum's going to be planning all kinds of fun events. It's going to be cool. Bum's going to be 30 this year, by the way.
I know.
Think about that. I like Bum's 30.
Yeah.
All right. Also, you got any small take back stuff before I go see Steph Curry's movie?
Well, just some final. I got some quick things on Harper, real quick.
Okay.
I love that both him and Schwarber so funny with how they talked about Castellanos. Schwarber just talking around it after pausing.
Oh, so good. Yeah.
And then saying, somehow turning it into talking about the Dodgers series was hilarious. And then Harper being like, "Yeah, I didn't read it, but I got the gist of it." And
yeah, it's sure, got it. Yeah.
It took 30 seconds to read.
It's
he easily could have
not
read
reading it is that was his statement was saying I didn't read it and nothing else he said mattered. That was the point. You could read it and you're right. Not even 30 seconds. 12 seconds to read that thing.
Yeah, seems like they were ready to move on. And then no one tweeted this out. I had to watch the full video to find this nugget. But he says his wrist feels great. He hasn't had pain in it.
Yeah, that was Pittsburgh. You're right. That there was everyone so upset. You're right that didn't get enough. You're right. That's a big deal.
Well, he said coming into spring training last year it bothered him, and now he hasn't had pain. So I think that is huge. And then final, just overall thought on it. The hair is just immaculate. I mean,
he looks so good. I'm totally with you. I'm so.
Whatever he did, that hair. I don't know how you do it.
The raw milk. I don't know what it is, but it was glowing. I agree.
It was phenomenal. He looked like really healthy.
He looked good. He did. Yeah. No, I agree with you.
And some of the offseason photos.
Oh my God, they're terrifying. Sometimes I'm like, whatever the hell you're doing, stop it. Eat some freaking meat or drink some pasteurized milk or whatever you need to do. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. I'm just saying, I've seen some of those videos or clips of him and been like, you look sickly, man. So
yeah,
he's not.
We won't get into some health things here, but he's doing the right things, I would say. Anyway, the video of Aiden, or the video of Boa talking about Aiden is it really warms my heart. Boa is obviously very bullish on a lot of things,
shortstop prospects and stuff, but yes.
But he was. I actually thought he was trying to rein himself in. I really did.
I think he's learned. Because I remember him coming on with us in middays back when Kingery came up, and you could tell how excited Bo was about it. And I'm excited to hear
it. Yeah. We didn't talk about the Wheeler rib yet.
All-time weird move. I love it. He's such a weirdo. It's great. It's exactly what I want my ace doing.
I just want it. I want it in the dugout. I want it to be the rally rib.
Oh, it could be the home run rib. Yeah. I like that. Yeah,
there it
pass
is.
The rib. There you go.
Oh man, they win the World Series. They throw it. There's a lot of bits they could do with the.
A lot of potential with the rib. I agree.
A lot of potential. I also can't stop watching the videos of Bo Bichette playing defense. Have you seen those?
Oh no, but I like that you're just pivoting the other way. It's good work by you.
Yeah, it's true hater fuel.
It is. Yeah, you're like 50 Cent over here.
Well, he looks like a butcher at third base. Very, very, not soft hands, as they say. Not soft hands. Very, very hard hands.
As we always say on this pod, defense first.
Defense first, especially on February 15th.
Always.
February 16th.
Yep.
I I really want Tony Gonsolin on the minor league deal.
Yeah, we know. I've got Tony Gonsolin's name has been said in my text messages more than current Phillies in the last 3 weeks.
Well, in our chat with Elliot and you, I believe it was Saturday.
Yes.
Elliot was trying to round me up, and I said, "Please don't." And you were watching a Brazilian movie.
Yes.
And I said,
"I'm crushing Gon's tape.
I'm grinding Tony Gonsolin tape over here. There's still some signs of life from Gonsolin. A pretty good year last year. He could not like an unbelievable year, but he could bounce between being a starter and being a reliever pretty easily, and could be. I
would be fully in on a Gons flyer.
He's Nick Martinez, but doesn't cost you $13 million. Come on, man.
I'm in.
Man. And then last thing I do want to shout out a lot of positive comments on the podcast and Phillies Reddit. Phillies Reddit the other day. So I want to shout out to my peeps in Phillies Reddit.
That is awesome. I will say that Reddit, I think, is the best social media platform. I'm not a huge social media guy, but Reddit is the only thing Emily's on. She is not on any other social media platform. She loves Reddit. All about Reddit. I think I will now, when I'm Googling to find things out, I will sometimes just add Reddit into the Google because I trust Reddit answers more than whatever AI Google tells me. So
there's some good answers in there. People are a little
Reddit's great. Yeah, it can get weird. I know.
They're a little complainy sometimes.
Yeah, look, any social media gets weird depending on where you go with it. But in general, big Reddit fan. Shout out to the Reddit people.
Yeah, so some positive comments. And I think that's all I have.
That's awesome. That warms my heart. I will be thinking about nothing else while watching a basketball movie about a goat. It's gonna be sweet.
You're gonna love it. You're gonna love
I know.
You love these kind of movies.
I'm gonna like it more than Zoe, so that's the beauty of it all. All right, we'll be back later in the week. Plus, Clearwater coming up. We'll talk about that.
First game Saturday.
I'll be there for it. So yeah, we'll talk about it. It'll be awesome. All right. We'll be back later in the week. Preview all that stuff. Lots of fun going on.